Hi everyone, Elizabeth here. So I wanted to share a brief video in terms of a new term called maps. So I was driving to work the other day and I was just flipping through radio stations, and because I had to turn the wheel, I just stopped on a segment of a guy doing a news report on a video that he saw on YouTube, which was about a sex therapist in Pennsylvania who uses the term, or wants us to now use the term, called MAPS, which is a minor attracted person. So it doesn't use the term pedophile because pedophilia is a negative stigma term, and it also it also is MAPS is a more appropriate term because people are not they have no control about who they're attracted to. So even though somebody could be attracted to a young person, an underage person, they can also be attracted to an older person as well. So as I live in, the little, let's just say, progressive utopia, I really have to watch what I say because it's like I work for so many companies. And what is very disheartening about seeing that video and just reflecting on my friends who are mental health counselors or psychologists. I mean, I've been watching this shit for 2 years on Facebook. I do think Facebook is like I said in other videos, is a fake reality. A lot of very vain, narcissistic people are the loudest ones on social media because deep down it's almost like an attention grab, or it's like a one-up, like I'm better and smarter than you because I've took the juice, or I've done this, or we're policing what people say and to make a more inclusive society. But I've always stuck up for people to, I don't know if the word stuck up, I've always supported people to go to like a psychologist or a therapist or something to talk about their stuff, because there's really, in this modern society where we're just so dysfunctional, it's kind of hard to go through life without having any wounds, and you kind of need to express your wounds or heal your wounds. And now that I almost want to suggest that people only go to therapists or psychologists of people who are very, very, very balanced, disconnected from politics. Because some of my therapist friends who are highly progressive, they've stuck up for so many things like defunding the police and stuff like that, and it's just like it's this dysfunction that just doesn't work. So it's like, are these the best people to be giving advice to other people? I don't know. So I will link the video below about the maps. It completely grossed me out. I was kind of like angry after I listened to it, and I honestly was not shocked. I'm like, I watched that 90-second, 2-minute video that she did, and I was like, I'm actually not shocked that she looks the way that she does. It's kind of funny because there was a movie I saw a long time ago with Keanu Reeves. I think it's just the John Wick movie, or one of the, I think there's a couple of them, but I remember in the movie it was like kind of this battle between light and dark, and so you saw people wearing crosses, and then the people who were working on the dark side, they were all like shaved heads, tatted up. There's just a certain look to it, and some movies have replicated that archetype, that the people who are kind of working for more the darker ones, or Satan or whatever, demonic energies, are actually the ones that kind of look like the lady in the video. And I don't think it's judgy. I don't think I would ever hire her or recommend hiring her as a sex therapist, especially when you understand the true divine nature of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. The opposite, the two opposite polarities attract one another. So anyways, I just couldn't believe that we're at a point in our reality now where people are actually sticking up for pedophiles. Because here's the thing, if you live by a true divine spiritual nature, most people are living by no harm. And no harm means no harm. It's as clear as day. And people, men or women, let's just say adults, who have sex with children, or at least with younger teenagers, even if they're 16 years old, you're not mentally developed to really understand what the fuck is going on in the world at 16 years old or 17. Grown adults who sleep with children and or let's just say young adults have messed them up. I used to be a Reiki healer. I don't know, maybe I just consider myself kind of a slight healer in general. It just always doesn't come out through an energetic notion. But I used to do Reiki healing sessions. The hardest client I ever had was a man in his 20s who was trying to heal from getting molested by his uncle when he was 10, 11, 12 years old through his childhood through his young adult years. I had no clue, besides sharing any intuitive hit with him, how to ever overcome that trauma. I mean, at that point, healing services kind of became almost a lifeline for him, because that is such a violation, especially when it's your uncle and a family member. That wound is so challenging and so hard to heal from. And adults that have sex with children or young adults, especially if they manipulate them, fuck these people up for a very, very long period of time. For some people, it might be seasonal. I don't understand how or why some people heal from stuff and move on and other people don't. I've healed from all my other stuff. I feel super stable and structured. I don't need to do yoga, meditation. Maybe I do it just to kind of de-stress, but I don't need it as a lifeline. Where other people need these things probably for a very, very, very long period of time. So I've said this in other videos. The Netherlands has a pedophile political party that is allowed to run for government. Denmark, or maybe it was the Netherlands, look up John Dillerman on YouTube and look at the cartoon of how it's a grown man who has an extra, extra long penis who does everything with his penis. He cleans his house with it. He cleans the windows, whatever. He does his errands with this. I cannot believe that people actually accept this. It is at a point where either things have become so demoralized or so dysfunctional, or they're just so numb to everything. That's why the Masonic system of living in this yin-yang culture where good is evil and evil is good is highly dangerous, especially because it's attached to a lot of deep roots of Buddhism. Buddhism teaches detachment. You can use detachment in great ways, like detaching from the television or news media, or detaching from materialism. But when you just detach from stuff, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. I mean, he's just attracted to a young kid. Everyone's attracted to something, but you can't really help it. There's a disconnect when it comes to morality, and a lot of the new age media university bullshit has its connections to Buddhism, which can be very, very, very dangerous. Some things like tantric Buddhism was not meant to be manipulating an entire continent of people. I think these people suffer from massive Stockholm syndrome because they want to see the good in humans. Okay, sure, maybe a pedophile has some good qualities of him, but at some point when you're wanting justice to be handled well in a civilized society, you cannot have compassion for people who do harm, especially because children and animals are the two most innocent spirits on this planet. Children and animals can sense things that are off or on because they live through intuition and they're not indoctrinated by the logical left brain world or just limited belief systems. So they operate more by their intuition. And people who take advantage of that innocence, that is just, I mean, I don't know. There's really no way to stand up for it anymore. It's disgusting. It's repulsive. At this point, which blows my fucking mind because a lot of these people are also, you know, vegan or plant-based. If you accept having sex with children, there are no boundaries anymore. They will normalize bestiality. They will probably normalize really anything, like children on children porn. Like, you know, it's kind of like, what is next? What is the next rabbit hole that these delusional, dysfunctional people are going to try to push on our society? And I don't like doing videos about this because it makes me very angry, and it just, you know, I don't even know if this is productive. However, I do think, like, it is worth shedding some light on to understand, like, we are at a point now where one stupid progressive, I'm going to say she's progressive, I don't know what she is, but I'm going to assume by the way she looks, she is. You know, it's like you have one of these progressive people sharing a video like this, and then all of a sudden that entire community of people is going to be policing everybody else. Like, that you can't use the word pedophile, you have to use minor attracted person. Like, how do you have a child and could stick up for this? Like, it blows my mind. Anywho, I wanted to share that because it is potentially a part of our reality, and I don't know, hopefully the functional world can start to conquer the dysfunctional world, but the dysfunction is getting so thick and deep, especially in America, especially after coming back from Mexico, where I thought, wow, things are just normal here. Like, you get artists painting beautiful pictures of females, which is projecting the divine feminine, and it's not this dark art, like grotesque stuff with a knife coming out of someone's throat, and I don't know, weird stuff. You can find a lot of dark art on Etsy. I've come to learn how weird our culture has been due to some funky customer experiences on Etsy, and I realized there's a whole other side of that shop that I never knew about. Do not have compassion for these people. I mean, at that point, you have no justice. You just recognize and accept and normalize everything that's abusive and evil in general. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you later. Bye-bye.